What if the most powerful climate technology isn't technology at all? Around the world, climate impacts are intensifying, and cities are racing to keep up, whether through policy or massive engineering infrastructure to protect our communities. But a growing global movement suggests that nature itself may already provide many of the answers. And nowhere is that idea being tested in a more high-stakes and high-density environment than Hong Kong's Northern Metropolis. Spanning approximately 30,000 hectares, just under 1/3 of Hong Kong's total land area, this mega-development project is planned to house 2.5 million people. But it is also being designed as a global living laboratory for climate resilience, aiming to prove that urban expansion can coexist with active ecosystem conservation. We're Civic Exchange, a leading independent public policy think tank based in Hong Kong. For over 2 decades, we've been using in-depth research and stakeholder dialogue to tackle the region's toughest environmental, economic, and developmental challenges to shape a more livable city. Today, we're diving into our recent joint report with the Nature Conservancy, titled Nature-Based Solutions in the Northern Metropolis. We'll briefly introduce nature-based solutions, what they are, and how we can benefit from them. Then, we'll take a look at the Northern Metropolis as an emerging case and highlight key areas of NBS implementation. Finally, we'll preview the report's major conclusions on regional governance and conservation finance mechanisms before sharing our final takeaways. So let's get started. According to the IUCN, nature-based solutions are defined as actions to protect, sustainably manage, and restore natural or modified ecosystems to address societal challenges effectively and adaptively. A simple way to look at it is like a 3-part equation. First is the action. We protect, manage, or restore real ecosystems like wetlands, forests, or mangroves. Second is the challenge. We use these ecosystems to actively shield humans from pressing crises such as flooding and rising temperatures. And third are the co-benefits. The coolest aspect of NBS is that these strategies simultaneously provide benefits for biodiversity and also for our own well-being. But then how do we ensure that these projects actually deliver their promises and avoid greenwashing? This is where the IUCN Global Standards for NBS comes in. It relies on 8 specific criteria covering everything from economic viability to biodiversity net gain. They are, first of all, societal challenges. Second, integrated systems perspective. Third is enhanced biodiversity, ecosystem integrity, and connectivity. Fourth is financial feasibility and economic justification. Fifth is inclusive governance and equity. Sixth is balancing goals and impacts. 7 is adaptive management. And 8th is enhancing sustainability and mainstreaming. Project owners can use this standard to perform a strict self-assessment, ensuring that they can design and scale high-integrity and impactful NBS projects. Now, to understand NBS in action, let's go straight to our case study in the Northern Metropolis. Here's a map of Hong Kong. While it's mostly known for its dense concrete jungle, this developed land only covers 25% of the city. The rest are green areas, with 40% protected for conservation and country parks. When we zoom closer to the north, bordering with Shenzhen, is the proposed Northern Metropolis area. The Northern Metropolis is designed around a principle rarely seen at this scale. Development and conservation must happen together. This region includes wetlands, fish ponds, rivers, forests, agricultural land, and important ecological corridors connected to Shenzhen and the wider Greater Bay Area. Rather than treating these natural assets as obstacles to development, the report argues that they should become part of the city's resilience infrastructure. This report maps out a fascinating blueprint of how this looks, so let's see just some of the examples. As we see on the high ground, the focus is on reforestation and slope greening. Planting native trees on barren hillsides stabilizes slopes to reduce landslide risks during extreme downpours, while naturally cooling down the surrounding urban areas. In the high-density urban areas, this strategy includes utilizing blue-green infrastructure, such as sponge city features. Instead of concrete trapping rainwater, the streets use rain gardens, bioswales, and permeable pavements to absorb, store, and naturally reuse stormwater runoff while lowering urban heat islands. Green roofs, vertical greening, and urban parks can also increase ecological connectivity while reducing heat through green cover. On the low-lying wetlands, the report highlights Smart Gateway, retrofitting Hong Kong's traditional and self-sustaining aquaculture with modern technology to protect critical and migratory bird habitats and also act as a natural flood buffer. Along the coastline, protecting mangroves and oyster reefs create living breakwaters that protect the shore from erosion and absorb storm surges. Implementing these pathways successfully means looking beyond the local environment. Climate change and ecosystems don't recognize administrative borders, after all. Because the Northern Metropolis shares the waters of Shenzhen Bay directly with Shenzhen, this report emphasizes the critical need for regional cross-border collaboration. To build a truly climate-resilient Golden Inner Bay, Hong Kong and Shenzhen must actively work together to align their separate planning, policy, and ecological monitoring frameworks. And then there's the question of how to fund it. Constructing a green transition at this scale requires a large pool of funding from multiple sources. That's why our report dives into the business case for nature, introducing innovative conservation finance mechanisms. By utilizing tools like green bonds, blended finance, and assigning an economic value to our nature capital, smart policies can de-risk environmental infrastructure. This transforms nature conservation from a charity case into a bankable, highly scalable asset class for private investors. Ultimately, the Northern Metropolis is a test of whether a modern city can grow with nature instead of replacing it, proving that economic expansion and ecological integrity are not a zero-sum game. In a warming world, this framework may become just one of the most important urban planning principles of the 21st century. To explore the full data, frameworks, and cross-border governance strategies for yourself, download and read our complete report, Nature-Based Solutions in the Northern Metropolis. The link is in the description below. So how do you think we can better integrate nature into our cities? Drop your thoughts, questions, or topics you want us to cover next in the comments below. And if you want to stay updated on our latest research and local insights, make sure to like this video and follow our Instagram at HK2050isnow. The ultimate climate technology is here, and it's time for action. Let's lead the way to a nature-positive future, and see you in our next videos.